Thanks for the support as a channel member, Dr. Cyandeep Das. Boys and girls, it's double final o'clock. We've got Dortmund in the German Cup final. We've got Inter in the Champions League final. It kind of all comes down to this, doesn't it? When we decide if that £1 billion was worth it. Hello and welcome to Club 5, Part 20 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have those two finals I just told you about before the fantasy music played. Dortmund up first. They'll be looking for some revenge after what's happened this season. And Inter, of course, in the Champions League final the following weekend. Interestingly, which I didn't notice because I don't have an eye for these things, but the Champions League final is apparently at Dortmund Stadium, which means nothing to me. I could look at that now and still have no idea that that's Dortmund Stadium. But what do you know? That's Dortmund Stadium. So basically, Dortmund are going to want to spoil our fun twice, which is going to be interesting. Let's get the German Cup final out of the way first of all. I'm not actually that bothered about this one. It was the one trophy we won last season that they let us keep. I don't need to win it a second time, although obviously momentum-wise, it would be very nice to go into that Champions League final with like a double under our belts. It would be lovely. Oh, by the way, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. We did an invincible season in the end. They were our final two matches. So we finished with an invincible season. We finished with an all-time record unbeaten run in the Bundesliga, which is, where is it? It's on here somewhere. Most matches without losing, 64 games, which is an all-time record, breaking our own record that we set the previous season whilst we were on this run, which I think is double cool. But yeah, 64 games unbeaten. We will be leaving Germany unbeaten in the league for 64 games anyway. We don't worry about the start, right? That first month, we don't let that ruin things for us. But it would be nice to not only have an invincible season, but win everything as well, which we've now got the opportunity to do. So, the team for the Dortmund game. We've got Ferron in goal, a back four of Krajcu, Tigges, Banfalvi and Dombrowski, Vermonti at the base of the midfield, Andre and Lust ahead of him, Michels, Thorgerson and Gashi are our front three. Let's get into the game. Let's cross our fingers. We do have a good record against Dortmund this season. In fact, I don't really know if I should mention this, and I haven't fact-checked it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think Dortmund have ever beaten me as Bayern manager. There's a trophy on the line. Go and show everyone you're born winners. I love that. I love that as a team talk. That's wonderful stuff. But last season, we drew with them in the league twice and then thumped them in the cup to knock them out in like January. This season, we obviously haven't lost to them because we haven't lost in the league. And this is the first time we faced them in the cup. So this is Dortmund's last chance before I leave Germany to beat me. And there's Laszlo Banfalvi, the man who's never lost a league game, never lost a domestic game in Germany for Bayern Munich, which is a ridiculous record for anyone to have. He's been here a year and a half, and the only games he's ever lost have been in the Champions League. He should be our captain. Lust is our captain, but in my head, Banfalvi is my captain. But then I guess Lust is one of the ones that will let stay here at Bayern. But if I get the dream move to Barcelona, Banfalvi is absolutely one of the ones that I want to bring with me. Because he's one of my boys from Tottenham. Him and Vermonti, they've got to come with me. Because they've been with us for so long. And Antonio Carlos, because we all love him. He won't be coming with me unless we can get him super, super cheap and do it as a meme. And of course, Alex Catamol is already there. Right, corner comes in, it's bobbling around a little bit, and former Bayern man Heleno, who I signed and then moved on without ever having played a game for us because I rejected him and decided he wasn't good enough 2 years ago, has just scored his 21st goal of the season. And it's against us. He's, of course, the man who broke hearts last season with his 94th, 95th minute goal for Dortmund in their game against Hoffenheim that did win them the league when we'd already been given the trophy. Heleno likes to play spoiler because he will feel he didn't get a fair crack of the whip here at Bayern because I signed him and then decided I liked Thorgerson more. Heleno will probably point out that both seasons I've been here in Germany, he's outscored Thorgerson. I don't think he has, actually. I don't think he did in the first season, but this season he definitely has because Thorgerson has developed more into a well, we've been playing him as the complete forward. He's more of a player, more of a team player than an out-and-out goal scorer, which is what we've been asking him to do. Right, let's assertively. We've been the better team. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll be fine. I think that is exactly what needs to be said to these lads right now. Attacking-wise, we're not looking that great, are we? Banfalvi, obviously, with his dominant header, was a lovely moment. But the actual front three, not really doing much today. We've got O'Hara sat down there on the bench and Van der Hoek, and I suspect both of them will be on the pitch in the very near future because we need a breakthrough. The last thing we want with a Champions League final a week away is extra time in this. Dombrowski plays it back to Vermonti. Vermonti to Dombrowski again. Dombrowski back to Vermonti one more time. Vermonti now finds Lust and Thorgerson, who plays Gashi in. This is a lovely move. Gashi can't quite get the ball across, but Dombrowski picks up the scraps, but then he can't cross the ball either. That defender did a very good job twice there against two huge attacking threats, and now it's Heleno against Banfalvi, and luckily Heleno hasn't got his shooting boots on in this second half, but he had Banfalvi for pace, completely done him there. Right, O'Hara comes on for Gashi. Yeah. And Van der Hoek comes on for Miguel's. I mean, that's easy. They're the two who are most tired. I was tempted to push either of those two up front and take Thorgerson off, but Thorgerson's on 83% condition. These two are down in the 70s. So it's not just about winning today. It's about saving my best players for next week as well. Because, like I said, I'd rather win that than this. If I was given the choice and we have to lose one, I'll happily lose this one and then go and win the Champions League next week. That's fine by me. Right, what we don't want, though... why can't I press the buttons right? What we don't want is extra time. So do we throw the game now? No, we're not going to throw the game. We are going to take off Lust, bring on Marquez. We're going to swap those two over. We're going to push Marquez a little bit further forward as well because he is a goal threat. And now we're going to ask for 10 minutes of passion to close things out and see if that can maybe give us something a little bit different. It's Van der Hoek with the corner. It's an in-swing. And Banfalvi's there again! What a man Laszlo Banfalvi is. A 9th goal of the season for him now, in a season where he scored a hat-trick in the Champions League earlier in the year. He is such an aerial threat from these corners, and that's the second one he scored today. And my word, he, like I said before, he'll always be my captain. Lust... whatever, he's Germany's captain, he's Bayern's captain, Banfalvi's my captain. Corner comes in, Tiggy's head's clear to Andre nods it forward to Thorgerson, and we're not just clearing it, we're getting a counter-attack going, and it's O'Hara, the former Dortmund man, and he's clear on goal. O'Hara's in and makes it 3-1, and oh, do I feel like this is justice, because that, boys and girls, is a 94th minute goal, and goodness me, does it feel good? The former Dortmund man giving them a taste of their own medicine, taking a trophy out of their clutches right at the death of the game. It's Dortmund 1, Bayern 3. We've won the German Cup. That is 3 trophies for this season, if you count the Super Cup, which of course we are going to count. And yeah, this time, again, we get to keep a trophy, and hopefully it's not the last one we get to keep, because now we have the big one. Reminder before we get into it, because I know some of you have been around on the channel for a long time and know that traditionally non-league to legend ends with a Champions League win. I've been saying for a lot... Oh, I just got a Steam achievement for doing a double. I've been saying for months, since we first arrived at Tottenham, that isn't the plan this year. The plan is for a realistic career. And at the moment, I'm still only 49 years old. I ain't retiring. So there's legs in this saviour, even if we do win it. But I don't want... Even though I've been talking about moving to Barcelona for 8 episodes, I don't want everyone to see us win, if we do win, and then go, well, that's the end of that. I'll come back when FM21 is out. No! The series continues. Plus there's Born, plus what I do on Twitch. So don't go anywhere, you rascals who disappear at the end of Non-League to Legend every year. I know who you are, and it saddens me every year. Right. Let's go and win the Champions League. In fact, before the Champions League, here's some exciting news. I've made it into a Hall of Fame. I am one of the top English managers of all time. Now in 9th place, and obviously a Champions League win would propel me up even further. I've got Unky Herb in my sights this early in the save. Who is Tom Watson? I don't even know who he... Oh, that's why I don't know who he is, because I've never noticed him on the Hall of Fame before. Has he just been added? Have we just realised he exists? Usually Unky Herb's higher up than that. But I have my eyes on the prize. What I don't have is any chance of getting in any of these just yet, because I'm miles behind on the worldwide one. But we are now in the English Managers Hall of Fame. Well, also before the Champions League final, we've got all sorts of awards and things. So we've set a Bayern Munich record for losses in a season, 0. Bundesliga record. Ferron has the new clean sheets record, 26 clean sheets for the season. We'll call that a Kev treble because I signed Vermonti, Dombrowski and Adema, who was with me at Tottenham. Not that I got in the team, because he was this guy's understudy. Shows that he wasn't a bad understudy, really. Vermonti winning another. So that's 2 Player of the Season awards. Both won by Vermonti with Dombrowski as runner-up. This is your team of the season. So Ferron not getting in goal, but Kryju, Banfalvi, Tigges, Dombrowski, Lust, Gashi all getting into team of the year. I'm surprised we've got as few players in that as we have. My young wonder kid Merker is wondering why he's not in the team, and to be fair, it's a fair thing to wonder because he's a 4-star player now, both at right back and defensive midfielder, which just so happens they're 2 positions we have a lot of cover in. But whoever's here next year is going to have to play this boy. I'm taking Vermonti with me. This is all assuming I can find a job. I keep talking as if I'm definitely leaving. I'm not resigning after this Champions League final. I'm waiting for a job. So there is still the possibility that we'll be starting next season at Bayern, because if we have a look at job security, what actually is there that Arsenal is available? I mean, it's an interesting one, but I don't think it's time to go back to the Premier League yet. Barcelona is still the obvious one. And it's the only one that really, really appeals. So I'm waiting for Barcelona to sack their manager. And if they don't do it, we probably aren't leaving. So I'll have to sort out something with Merker and solve the FFP problems. We're not going to worry about any of that. The big day has arrived. Champions League final. Couple of statistics. You got to do the build-up. Bayern Munich have lost twice in all competitions this season. Once to Manchester United. Once to Inter in the group stage. We did beat them in the other one, I think. So we beat them 3-1. They beat us 2-0. So they've got us an aggregate there, haven't they? Because they got the away goal. So, I mean, it shows we had a good group this year, that both of us have made it to the final. But Inter, they're a tough challenge. Team-wise, a lot of the players playing today played in last year's final. I think Tigges missed out for Haman. And obviously Miguel's was still at Dortmund at the time, so Van der Hoek started. But that aside, I think this might well be the same team, 9 of the 11 that played in last year's final. Have we learnt? Have we improved? Our Inter as good as Barcelona were. It's Ferron in goal. A back four of Kryju, Tigges, Banfalvi and Dombrowski. Vermonti at the base of the midfield. Andre and Lust ahead of him. Miguel's, Thorgerson and Gashi as our front 3. I am so nervous. We can't lose another Champions League final. I can't let that become a thing. Come on, lads. We've played so well this year. That's like a who's who of ones who got away. I tried to sign both Hendricks. I tried to sign Hendricks here at Bayern. I tried to sign Lovren before Jair at Spurs. They've got Ryan Sessegnon on the left wing, who I never let him play there for Spurs. He was always a left back for me. So lots of stuff happening. Oh, and we get to go out there in a Champions League final to avenge ourselves because of that defeat in the group stage. It was all tactical. We deliberately lost to them in the group stage because we knew this was coming, and we know how well we respond to avenging ourselves. And we haven't done it very often because we haven't lost very often. But when we do, we avenge in style. Although worryingly, less than 2 minutes on the clock, it's Inter who've got the ball and are sort of camping out in our half at the moment. So it'd be nice to win the ball back off them, go up the other end and score 3 or 4 goals. Ryan Sessegnon is in, and Ferron thankfully makes the save, because an early goal from a former player would have been disgusting and horrible, and I don't know that I'd have been able to cope with it. So they have a corner. Less than 3 minutes on the clock. Banfalvi heads clear because he's my captain. I think I've mentioned that, or I've talked too positively about him today. He's going to give away a penalty or get sent off or something, isn't he? This is how these things work. Sessegnon's in again, and Sessegnon is up for it. I think he's decided today's the day. he proves to his former Spurs manager, his former England manager, that he should have spent the majority of his career playing on the left wing, not at left back. And he's done a good job of proving it so far, because he looks like their most dangerous man in these early moments. That was a wild tackle from, I think, Kryju. And it didn't even win the ball back, so it was completely unnecessary. We need to chill out a little bit. Sessegnon's in again, and it was coming. It was coming all day long. Ryan Sessegnon's proved his point now. Can we pack this in and win a football match, please and thank you? Because I cannot cope. I cannot cope with this. Oh, it would be him. We always got on so well. But we also know how dangerous he can be, and maybe having Dombrowski on an attacking instruction up against him is a bad idea. But then Dombrowski's so important to us going forward, so that makes it a good idea again. I just hope Sessegnon's calming down now. They're now overwhelmed. So they've had their moment, and now we're going to go and do what we do and just steamroller them, hopefully. So Dombrowski charging through, forces the save out of their goalkeeper, and now we've got a corner. And this is our first little period of attack in the game, or at least one that was worthy of a highlight. It's Lust to take the corner. Corner comes over. Gashi looks to get there but can't quite connect. Not sure why we're not aiming for Banfalvi after how effective he's been at it this season. But Tigges is trying to prevent a counter-attack here. Does a pretty good job of it, but Inter do come away with the ball. We're not looking very good in this first half. Can we have some passion? We've got a lot of motivated and composed players. It's positive, but the fact that we're losing, less so. Vermonti, looking up, trying to do a perfect Vermonti pass. He runs with the ball a little way and then plays Dombrowski in. It was the cleverest pass that was available. It wasn't necessarily one that makes a goal, but it was clever because he had no right to even see him. And now it's with Vermonti again. Looking up again, finds Lust. Vermonti this time trying to slot Gashi in. Andre intercepts. Miguel's is there. Andre again to Miguel's again, who's beaten two men there in one little fancy dribble. Lust plays Dombrowski in, and Dombrowski scores. And there is we've had two sides of the argument there as to whether or not we should be having him on an attacking instruction. He let Sessegnon in repeatedly early on, but as the half went on, more and more started to come through him, and he now has the equaliser right on the stroke of half time. He just hit it so hard. We know how hard that man can hit a football, and he's just shown us again there. And you can't time a goal more perfectly than that. At half-time, Bayern 1, Inter 1. And now it is very much all to play for in this second half. I know a lot of you were keen to avenge what happened last time we played Inter. Go out there and express yourselves. I like that. Can we do that passionately? We can. Right. Let's get out there in this second half and do what we know we're capable of. We can beat this lot because, quite frankly, and I know he's been one of their better players so far, but Sessegnon was a fringe player in my last year at Tottenham. I think our team's better than their team if he's one of their best players. We should be able to beat them. Gashi plays Dombrowski in beautifully. I don't know why they're not noticing that he's there. Dombrowski plays Gashi back to Dombrowski and across to Thorgerson. And there's a goal for Thorgerson, his 18th for the season. Dombrowski and Gashi very much involved again. But 53 minutes gone and it's 2-1 to us. It's a lovely goal. Dombrowski and Gashi down this right-hand side. It's a joy to behold. Poor O'Hara may as well leave because as good as he is, both for Bayern and for Germany, how does he break into this team on the right-hand side when those two are that good? He doesn't, is the answer to that question. Right, 2-1. Let's go and score another one. Ball forward for Thorgerson to chase. He's through on goal here. It was a hopeful punt forward from Miguel's, but Thorgerson got two attempts at it but couldn't quite turn it into the back of the net. The second one was from a very, very tight angle. And now I wonder how many people... Sugar plums. And that's why Banfalvi's my captain and not him. Because that is where bottle jobs come from. World Cup winning captain. Bundesliga winning captain. But that's his second Champions League final failure. I don't know what to do. Do we just go with that two-man midfield? Or do we take off Miguel's, who's on a yellow card, and bring Van der Hoek and play him a little bit deeper? And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to stick Van der Hoek there. And then we're going to put him that side. We're going to put him there. And we're going to kind of do this weird mutant shape. because we still want this right-hand side to do what it does. But we are ahead in the game, so we don't want to be too crazy about it. Do you need to? You kind of do need to be attacking to get up into those areas. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And I'm furious with Lust. If I am still here next year, Banfalvi is Bayern's captain as well, because that is not what captains do in Champions League finals. That was a wild, ridiculous challenge. If he's sent off for 2 yellows or like saving a goal-scoring opportunity or something like that, you can understand it. But a wild challenge like that, he's just lost his head there. Thorgerson dancing through the defence. Kryju picking up the scraps, looking for the cross. Kryju, he's been fouled there. He has been fouled there. He's been fouled there. Give me the penalty. Oh, it's an English referee. Lovely stuff. I'm English too. Ref, come here. While you're over at the little telly, I'm English too. Give me the penalty because we're both English. Come on. That's what you want to do. Give me the penalty. Has he given it? If he hasn't, I want to restart play from where we were. Good, he has given the penalty. Excellent stuff. Lust would be our normal penalty taker, so I'm not entirely sure who steps up here. Is he sending him off as well? He is. That's a long walk back to their right back. A red card for them would have been perfect. It was only a yellow. And it's Gashi stepping up to take our top scorer this season. And Gashi scores to make it 3-1. And now do we drop back a little bit? Do we drop Gashi back a little bit and go with a more sensible shape? Or is that asking... You know what? I'm going to compromise with myself. And we're going to go to positive rather than attacking. That's as much as sitting back as you're going to get out of me. We should probably make another change. It's the 80th minute. I've missed my normal substitute window. Right, Vermonti is on a yellow card and tiring. We have got Merker on the bench. It would be insane to bring him on, though, wouldn't it, in a Champions League final? You know what? The sensible change, just for fresh legs, is O'Hara on for Gashi. And can he play back there? I think he can, yeah. So we'll stick him back there. So we drop back a little bit further, give it 5 more minutes, and then it won't be Merker who comes on for Vermonti. It'll be Tigges. Well, Tigges is already there. It'll be Haman who'll come on and play in the defence, and we'll move Tigges forward. So Haman for Vermonti. Swap those two over. Make him just sit there. And you do that. So we're getting more and more defensive. We'll drop back to a balanced mentality now. And now we just cross everything. We're going to drop a little bit of praise because we are winning comfortably in a Champions League final where we're down to 10 men. It's coming, folks. What happened there? Oh, come on. Just give me a final whistle now. I'm too stressed to handle any more of this, although we're in their half, so I guess that's a good thing. Kryju, I guess that's a good thing. Tigges, they're just keeping hold of it in that corner, which is clever play from both of them. And now Inter are losing their heads a little bit now, and we've got a free kick. And send Banfalvi forward, let him get his goal, because he deserves to get into double figures for the season. Van der Hoek with the cross. It's a terrible free kick. And now Ryan Sessegnon with the chance to break for Inter. I don't think they have time to score 2 goals looking at the clock. But Sessegnon is trying to do it all on his own. Tigges, though, just takes it off him as if he's never played football before. And we've won the Champions League, everybody. This has got to go down as the best team I've ever managed on YouTube, this Bayern team. This is what £1 billion buys you. We've won everything. We've won it relatively comfortably. I'm very happy. And not only, on top of all that, we've still got money in the bank. And the projection, although the balances are decreasing, we don't go into debt. We did it, folks. I'm just having a little... Lust, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. I'm not going to fine him 2 weeks' wages. That's crazy. We'll fine him a week's wages. I am furious with him. Medals for winning the Champions League. I am Wondermaker Chapman. That should be my actual name. The board are delighted. Dombrowski is delighted. Of course he's delighted. He had a very good game. More money flowing in as well. Money also flowing out. And how did that affect the Hall of Fame? Did we catch Unky Herb with a Champions League win? So we want the English one. I'm the third best English manager of all time, behind only Bob Paisley and Brian Clough. That's not bad for effectively 2 seasons' work. I guess people keep saying, Kev, you did win the Europa League at Spurs. I'm never going to count it. I always forget it happened. But we're getting quite the collection of trophies here now. That's all the European ones won, apart from the one we're never going to play in, hopefully. Now we just have to hope we get to go to Spain. Or France. Or Italy. Interesting. Let's see what happens tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. I don't know what that big pause was about. I'm stunned about what we've just done. And thank you very much for watching.